I want you to know that the eye is the point of entry through which temptation comes. And the devil would like to propose to you that as long as you're not doing sin, it's not a big deal. What we find in the scripture, it's not just a matter of what it is we're doing, but what we look on and what we begin to think on takes root in our heart. In Job 31:1, it is Job who says the following: I made a covenant with my eyes not to look lustfully at a young woman. And this lines up with what Jesus spoke in the Sermon on the Mount. You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Many of the religious establishments said, hey, I'm not really committing adultery because I'm not really doing it. And Jesus says, yeah, but you're looking at someone lustfully. It's as if you did it in your heart. He ratchets it up, if you would, what purity really is. And it's what we see and what we look at and what we take into our lives that is just as big a deal as if you find yourself acting out. Our culture has lost its conscience. And it is hard when we look at this and think, okay, it is God's will to be sanctified, to avoid sexual morality, but when we look around, it is really hard to do that with what we see happening around us. And it's even harder if you possess one of these. The talk in the 2000s, the great political debate was weapons of mass destruction. Do you remember that? Found it. It's right here. And with a click or a swipe, we have access to all kinds of things. Our culture has lost its conscience. And there's a whole lot of people dealing with the issue of sexual immorality from what they view on their screen. Understand, all sexual immorality, what we take in with our eyes is harmful and it is destructive and it is not part of God's design. In fact, what we take in with our eyes when it is sexual immorality is contrary to the order and the design that He has laid out for His creation. And not only does it destroy your mind and destroys your life, but it hurts the other people in your life. It destroys the ability that you have, that you can actually have a right relationship with somebody. And I want to tell you something, and not just young people, listen, all of you, if there are people in your life seeking you to compromise your purity, they are not worth having in your life. They're not worth it. Purity at all cost, because it's not just a public matter. It's purity in the privacy when no one else is around.